You're watching Ride the Teacups, and we're going to reveal 6 surprising things you can do with your toddler at Disneyland. This topic is so important to us, it's the main reason we started our YouTube channel in the first place. Mrs. Teacups and I visited Disneyland all the time when we were kids in the 80s and 90s. Yes, that's the late 1900s, I know. But when we got married and had kids, we had the chance to visit Disneyland as a family. My oldest was 3 years old and my youngest was 3 months old. I wondered if they should really go at that age. And years later, I still see that debate on our Instagram page. Should you bring them? They won't remember it. It's expensive and you won't get to do anything. We decided to go, and we're all so glad that we did. And we learned so much that no one else was talking about. That's actually why we decided to make a YouTube channel to help families bring their kids to Disneyland.
Yo, that was 6.5 years ago, and honestly, I'm so scared of getting this one wrong that I still haven't published it yet. Over 6 years later, I still haven't created the one video that sparked the whole channel out of fear that no one will care. Well, today is the day. And y'all, it would be super helpful if y'all wouldn't mind just hitting the like, subscribing for more family-friendly Disney content, and sharing this video with a friend who's going through the same debate.
We actually want to help you out so much, we're giving away a $100 Amazon gift card. Just subscribe and leave us a comment telling us how many of these were new to you. So go ahead, share your favorite tips with each other in the comments. It might just win you $100. Alright y'all, here are 6 things we wish we had known about bringing a toddler to Disneyland. Starting with... the best kept secret in Disneyland is the Baby Care Center. Inside, you'll find a very peaceful and normal set of rooms that might just look like your own home. And that is the whole point. Do you have a kid who gets overly excited? Do they experience the crowds, the characters, the rides, bright colors, bubbles, the smell of sugar, catchy music, all the noise, and they just lose it because they're completely overstimulated? This is the best place to stop, take a breath, and calm down. The walls have muted colors. It's not loud, and there are no characters.
They've also got some extra changing areas and things in here, but it's being used by a few people trying to keep their privacy intact. But just know, everything you need for your baby's infancy is in here.
You'll find high chairs to feed your kids, changing tables and private restrooms just for your small kids. They can sit down at a table and color. You can also buy diapers, wipes, baby food, formula, pacifiers, and just about anything else you might need. There's bottle warmers, private nursing rooms with outlets if you need to pump. It's incredible, and it's what changed our minds when we finally learned about it. You'll find one in each park. In Disneyland, it's at the end of Main Street just behind the red corn dog wagon. And in California Adventure, it's just behind the Ghirardelli shop on the San Francisco Pier. That's between Cars Land and Pixar Pier. And if you're wondering, every park in Walt Disney World has one too. I'm gonna drop a link to Shayna Gonzalez's video, which is the one we watched all those years ago. I think it was the only one on the internet at the time, and it deserves much more love than it gets.
Hello there.
One major concern was that there wouldn't be anything for our 3-month-old to do while we were there. Well, it turns out there are actually several attractions they're able to ride. They actually can ride the Haunted Mansion. Well, that might be too scary though. But they can ride pirates. Yes, really. But actually there are 2 drops and they might scream after that. Plus, both of those rides take about 15 minutes to get through and have lines that can be an hour long.
If only there was a series of rides they could do. Maybe all in the same place with fun music, lots of chances to bump into characters, and maybe even the lines that take less than half an hour to get through?
That's right, Fantasyland is the place to be. You may have already guessed that, but take a look at this list of rides. There's Peter Pan, Snow White, Pinocchio, Casey Jr., Dumbo, the Carousel, Mr. Toad, the Teacups. But don't spin it with your 3-month-old. Alice in Wonderland and the Storybook Canal Boats. None of these have a height requirement. None of these have jump scare moments or sudden drops. They're all gonna take between 2 to 5 minutes, and even on busy days, you'll find something with less than a 10-minute wait. And what's this? Mary Poppins and her band actually ride the carousel with you. Alice and the Mad Hatter actually ride the Teacups with you. and you never know who you might bump into. We've seen Captain Hook, Peter Pan, the Evil Queen, Moana, Pinocchio, Geppetto, and even Genie wandering around.
But our favorite moment is one night when Snow White was just out and about in Fantasyland. She actually saw that my 3-month-old was sleeping in his stroller. She came over and actually peeked her head inside at him. Her handler was actually trying to get her to go backstage, but she kept saying, no, I'm hanging out with my new buddy. And it was absolutely amazing.
You simply don't get this moment if you wait until your kids are grown to visit Disneyland. No, he won't remember it, but the rest of us will never forget. And our trip was that much more magical because of Snow White. The line for Peter Pan can be long. Usually. Snow White and Pinocchio rarely take longer than 10 minutes. And on the carousel and the teacups, you'll often only have to wait 1 or 2 cycles before riding. Fantasyland is great, but what about the rest of the rides? I want to ride Space Mountain and Guardians of the Galaxy, but my toddler isn't tall enough. Well, Disney has this one figured out for you too. Almost every ride with the height requirement also has a rider swap program, and it's pretty simple. You usually need to talk to someone near the exit of the ride and let them know you want to rider swap. That means one of you parents will get to ride while the other watches your kids who are too short to ride. When you're done, you can switch places. So if Dad rode Splash Mountain, he'll watch the kids and Mom gets to skip the line. Now, different rides have this set up in different places. In Space Mountain, whoever is waiting will need to talk to someone near the exit about rider swap. And that's great because one of you gets to wait in the shade near a restroom while the other goes through the line and rides. Then you'll actually go through the exit straight to the boarding area. But in Indiana Jones, there's actually a podium underneath the Jungle Cruise station next door where you can set up rider swap, and the second person will go through the lightning lane instead of the exit. So whatever ride you're doing it on, just make sure you talk to someone and let them know you want to rider swap. They'll get you started. The best part was when my oldest was tall enough to ride. He would wait in line with Mom and ride it, then during the swap, he'd be allowed to ride again with me. So he got to do each big kid ride twice as many times. So your toddler won't be able to ride everything, and they might get overstimulated. And you won't be able to ride the big rides with your spouse. But there's an upside you might not know about. Your toddler might be able to get in for free. Kids under 3 years old get into Disney parks for free. They don't need a ticket and they don't need a reservation. It's as simple as that. They don't check either. You're on the honor system. Now do whatever you want with that information, but even the official Plan Disney panelists specifically say, keep in mind that it would be unusual for a cast member to question the age of a guest, especially one so young.
And always let your conscience be your guide.
Even if you do need to pay, prices for kids are quite a bit cheaper than adult prices. And hey, while we're talking about it, if you're planning a trip soon, you can actually get adult tickets at kid prices from our friends at Getaway Today if you book this week. If you're looking to buy tickets for the 70th anniversary but missed the kids prices window that ends on May 19th, there are still 2 other great deals for you. You can get your tickets for $94 a day or save over $500 on a hotel and ticket package. We love Getaway Today and use them all the time. On my last trip a few months ago, they set me up in the Cambria Hotel. It was amazing, and they waived the resort fee and lowered the nightly parking rate. And I like that they give me the total price with taxes included for all of my dates instead of just the per night price. It's upfront and transparent, and I wish everyone did it that way. If you decide to book with Getaway Today and tell them we here at Ride the Teacup sent you, you'll save even more. You can use my link in the description or call them at 855-GETAWAY. It's an easy and free way to support our channel, and you save extra money in the process.
Bruh.
When I started visiting theme parks with my young kids, one of the things I severely undervalued was the simplicity of a playground. Yes, the rides are a lot of fun, but if we're being honest, they're also pretty constraining, right? You stand in a line with lots of stops along the way, then you sit in a ride vehicle while the ride itself does all the movement. Kids need to run around and move their bodies. They need to jump, wave their arms around, and be silly. And those are the kind of things I never did at a theme park growing up, so I tended to ignore it when I started seeing it now that I have my own kids.
It's cheap, I told myself. We have a playground at home. Let's go do the things we can't do at home. Those were my justifications. And in the middle of all that, I missed something that my kids desperately needed in all the overstimulation. Something familiar and fun where they can actually move around and act like kids.
So don't repeat my mistake. At some point in the day, take your kids over to Toontown next to It's a Small World. As you explore deeper into Toontown, you'll find a great playground with slides and all kinds of fun things to do. And you know what? It's been closed every single time we visited ever since they built the darn thing. So here's a quick peek from Attractions Magazine, which is another great channel you might want to subscribe to. The last item on our list is a similar idea. Let your kids run around and be kids. But this one's in California Adventure. It's the Redwood Creek Challenge Trail and it's awesome. A lot of the rope bridges are more designed with your bigger kids in mind, but there are lots of places for your toddler to explore as well. Make your way to the back on the ground floor and you'll find a spirit cave. It's a small little cave they can run through over and over again. And just outside are rocks and logs to play on, as well as a pair of toddler slides. This is a fairly calm and quiet area, and it's in a corner, so it's much harder to lose track of your littles. It's a great spot to let them run, explore, and just be kids. So yes, bring your kids to Disneyland. They will have fun, and you as a parent will make cherished memories you will love forever. Seriously, y'all, take the trip. Make sure you subscribe and leave a comment to enter our giveaway. You have to be at least 18 and live in the United States. And speaking of the Challenge Trail, if you want to see everything Redwood Creek has to offer, check out this video up here where we'll walk through absolutely everything. Or take a look at some of our other Fantasyland adventures. We make these to help you know exactly what to expect when you visit on your trip. We love you. We'll see you next time we ride the Teacups. Later, y'all.